Y'all know my favorite pop albums of the year were? Let's go.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and I'm back again with another video for y'all. How you guys doing? Hope you guys doing very well. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. I had a very good Christmas. I was at the home, you know, I was at the crib just chilling, very peaceful with family and good food. It was very low key. I enjoyed it. But yeah, this is a very weird Christmas, like I bet it was for all of y'all. But listen, man, as long as you have your, your health in your life, you have more than enough to be grateful for. So just remember that. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. And even though this is a very, weird and dark Christmas, there was music to get us through. So that's what I'll talk about in these videos. So before we end off the year, I want to hit you guys off with my best albums of 2020. I'm gonna do a video for each genre that I love. I'm gonna do a video for pop, I'm gonna do a video for hip hop, and I'm gonna do a video for R&B. So let's get into it. This is a very weird year for music, but also a very interesting year for music because of the pandemic. There was no touring. We didn't really consume music the way we normally do. But at the end of the day, I still feel like it was a great year for music, so I wanted to highlight that. I thought a lot of great albums dropped this year for all genres. A lot of great projects dropped this year, so I definitely want to talk about that. And music was definitely a big part of getting us through, at least it did for me. I don't know about you, but so I want to talk about that. Let's get into it. I'm excited. I'm doing my top 10 pop albums and my top 20 R&B and my top 20 hip-hop albums of the year with honorable mentions throughout all these videos. Please don't pay attention to the rankings too much. I feel like rankings are very arbitrary, but for me they were fun to kind of put together and to think about. But the rankings are not that deep for me. I feel like different albums give different people different things at different times, so rankings to me are very weird, but I tried to make it as fun as I could when I was working on them. So but I hope you guys enjoy them. And also, if there was an album I don't talk about, I either did not listen to it or I just didn't think it was worthy enough to be in my top 10 or my top 20. So just comment down below what you think about my list. Hope you guys enjoy them. Comment down below what you listen to all year, what were your favorite albums and what were your favorite songs and artists of the year. Let me know down below. I'm really excited to know that. But yeah, man, if there's like I said, if there's an album here that you thought was amazing that I did not pick, I probably did not listen to it or I didn't think it was that great. So let me know down below and we can talk about it, okay? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these lists. Let's get into it. Without further ado, here are my best albums of 2020. Y'all ready? Let's go. At my number 10 spot, we have 5 Seconds of Summer with Calm, their 4th album, which dropped very early this year. This release kind of came and went, but I thought it was a very consistent album. I thought it was a pretty good album. It had a really consistent sound to it, a really big, arena rock, pop rock sound to it. Some of my favorite tracks off this album, Old Me, which should have been a big hit. They didn't really have a lot of hits off this album too. This album kind of came and went, but I really liked it. I love Old Me. Easier is a great song. Teeth is a really good song. Wildflower should have been a big hit. That was a really vibey song. And Not in the Same Way. I love that hook. Not in the same way. But yeah, very cool album by 5 Seconds of Summer. Very consistent album. I thought it was very good from head to toe. I really appreciate it. So shout out to 5 Seconds of Summer. At my number 10 spot, we got Calm. At my number 9 spot, we have Love Goes by Sam Smith. This is an album that I think a lot of people have really slept on. It was really an album that came and went, but I get it because it had a really long rollout schedule. The album, I think, took almost 2 years from the first single to it released. So I get it, but musically, this was a great album. I feel like Sam Smith was definitely back in his bag with this album. A lot of great, ballads, beautiful ballads on this album, but a lot of really nice up-tempo and mid-tempos too. Really good balance of sounds on this album. I really love the tracks. The Diamonds, that's a smash. I love Another One, My Oasis or Burna Boy, that was a cool vibe on that track. I love the track Love Goes, the title track with Labyrinth on that production was crazy. Kids Again, all the bonus tracks too. Yeah, man, really a beautiful album that had a lot of really beautiful songs in it. Really good album from head to toe. I really loved it. Solid project from Sam Smith. He was definitely back in his bag with this one. At my number 8 spot, we have Rare by Selena Gomez. I know a lot of y'all think her music is trash and that's cool, but in my opinion, I think Selena came through with a very good pop album this year. A very consistent album from head to toe. Some of my favorite tracks off this album, Lose You to Love Me, I know that one. Rare, that was a banger. Look at Her Now is a banger that y'all slept on. Crowded Room with Black, that was a really cool vibey track. Dance Again, I'm so mad that song never got a single release. That song is crazy. That production is insane by Madman and Robin. Speaking of Madman and Robin, Let Me Get Me, another great track by them. Yeah, man, this album was really an album where I feel like she really got into her sound. She really grew into her confidence as an artist on this album. So I really liked her from head to toe. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was a really good album that was really fun. Had a lot of really good pop songs on it, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, shout out to Selena Gomez. At my number 7 spot, we have Halsey, one of my faves, with her album Manic that dropped at the very beginning of the year. I love this album. This is an album where Halsey really dives into her bipolar disorder and how her manic tendencies have really affected her life as a woman, as an artist. But she doesn't only talk about her flaws, she also talks about her breakthroughs as an artist and as a woman too, which I love. Really inspirational album that I feel like a lot of people can relate to if you do those types of things. Some of my favorite tracks on this album include Clementine. I love the lullaby feel on that track. I love the production by John Cunningham. Graveyard, I love that song. You Should Be Sad had a great country vibe on it that I love. I Hate Everybody because I can relate. 3 AM, that song is a banger. That should have been released as a single. I'm still mad to this day that it wasn't. That song is a banger. Without Me, Finally, Beautiful Stranger, great track. And also Still Learning in 929, great outros for the album. Yeah, man, really beautiful album by Halsey that really opened up our heart and really I really showed a lot of her growth as an artist and as a woman. So I love this album. Great project. At my number 6 spot, we have Miley Cyrus with her album Plastic Hearts. I think this is truly the album where Miley Cyrus really found her sound. I love this 80s arena rock sound she had on this album. I feel like it fit her perfectly. Her voice works perfectly for this album. I feel like she was made to make this type of album. Such a good album from her. Some of my favorite tracks, What the Fuck Do I Know? Angels Like You, that's a beautiful ballad. Prisoner with Dua Lipa, that's a great track, great collaboration. Give Me What I Want, cool track. Nightcrawler was a cool vibe. Midnight Sky is a great pop record. High, one of my favorite tracks off this album. I love that track. Yes, Golden, There'll Never Be Me, Golden G-String. Like, this album has a lot of great songs in it that were just constructed well, written well. She sung the fuck out a lot of these songs. Her voice is crazy on these tracks. These tracks have great energy. This all around this album was just a great, consistent, really well put together body of work that I love by Miley Cyrus. I feel like she's definitely in her bag with this album, and I want her to continue this sound. I feel like she did it very well, and I want her to continue. It was great. At number 5, we have The Weeknd with After Hours, one of the albums really defined this year. I feel like this album has a lot of R&B vibes on it, but I feel like it belongs on this list, so I'm gonna leave it here on this list. But yeah, this is an album where I feel like The Weeknd finally was able to perfectly marry his dark vibes from very early on in his career with like his newer, really big, general population pop sensibilities in a perfect way. So I'm very happy with the way he did this album. I feel like it worked out perfectly. A lot of dark vibes on this album, but it still feels very accessible and very pop at the same time. Some of my favorite tracks, Too Late, Hardest to Love, Snow Child, really cool autobiographical track, really great track. Let's see, Heartless Grow on Me, Blinding Lights, that track defines a generation. Blinding Lights, amazing track, fuck the Grammys. In Your Eyes, I love that track. Save Your Tears was cool. After Hours is a great little outro track with beautiful production by Max Martin and Mario Winans. Yeah, overall this album is really cool, really dark. It gives me like a new age thriller vibe to it. I like the way we can put it together, and I feel like this is the apex in his catalog. Great album. At number 4, we have Positions by Ariana Grande. To me, this is definitely not her strongest album at all, and I think it's low-key one of her weakest albums lyrically. But as a whole, it's consistently good. It's a fun album that has such good replay value. So many gems on this album. Honestly, just bop after bop after bop on this project. I love the Defiant intro track, Shut Up. I love 3435. It's a fun song. Motive with Doja Cat, a complete banger. I love the dance vibe on that one. Off the Table is a beautiful collaborative ballad between her and The Weeknd. I love the vocal on that song. My Hair, I love the 2000s R&B vibe on that joint. Such a gem. I love that track. West Side is a cool, chill mid-tempo banger. Love Language, one of my favorite tracks on this album. I love that production by Tommy Brown. Such a good banger. I love that track. And POV, such a gem. Beautiful track to end off the album. But yeah, man, overall, this is definitely a fun album by Ariana Grande. Like I said, a lot of replay value and one of my favorite pop albums of the year. Love this album. At number 3, I have Folklore and Evermore by Taylor Swift. Even though these are 2 separate albums, they both are the same vein and they were both released in the same year, so I'll just put them together. But yeah, I definitely want to recognize Taylor Swift. These are 2 albums that I've not really gone back and listened to a lot. But I can recognize them as being, 2 of the stronger pop albums of the year. And I really feel like Taylor Swift definitely evolved and she definitely grew as an artist this year with these groundbreaking albums that really had beautiful songwriting where Taylor told really beautiful stories. And I love the lush production by Aaron Dessner, Jack Antonoff, and all the other producers that worked on this album. Yeah, man, some of my favorite tracks are Folklore, The One, Exile with Bon Iver, Mirrorball, This Is Me Trying. Those are the ones that come off the top of my mind. And off Evermore, I only heard Evermore once, but I know I loved Willow. And some of the other tracks off that album are cool too. But yeah, definitely want to recognize Taylor Swift with these 2 strong albums that I really feel like defined this year. At number 2, we have Chromatica by Lady Gaga, which is definitely my favorite pop albums of the year. And also what I feel like was one of the most criminally underpromoted mainstream pop albums of the year. but it is what it is. I really love the world that Lady Gaga created with this album. I feel like this was her coming back into her usual form with like her dance EDM vibes, but she really evolved in a new way on this album, and I just loved it. I love the sounds on this album. Shout out to Blood Pop and all the other producers that just created these amazing dance tracks that just had such good vibes on them. Some of my favorite tracks off this album: Alice, Rain on Me with Ariana Grande, I love that track. Let's see, Sour Candy with Blackpink, banger. Enigma, Replay, I love that song, and Babylon, some of my favorite tracks off this album. But overall, to me, this album was a pop masterpiece where Lady Gaga really going back into her usual form and really evolving and growing in a new way while still giving us the vibes that we know her for and that we love her for. So this is a great album. Shout out to Chromatica, great project. And on my number one spot, we have Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. If y'all watched my videos all year, you already knew this was coming. Future Nostalgia to me was the seminal pop album of 2020. This album to me is a complete masterpiece from head to toe. I've talked about this album plenty of times. I've talked about the Grammys. I've talked about the other stuff. I love this album so much. This album was amazing. Every song on this album could be a single. Every song on this album is a masterpiece. But if I had to pick out my favorites, I guess I'd say Don't Start Now, obviously. Cool. Levitating, one of my favorite tracks of the year, hands down. Levitating is everything. Pretty Please, such a gem. Love Again is cool. Break My Heart is amazing. A Good in Bed is a fun track. Like, this whole album is just from head to toe one of my favorite albums I've ever listened to. This album from head to toe was just banger after banger after banger. Dua Lipa, I'm so proud of you. This album was everything and my favorite pop album of the year, hands down. Alright y'all, so that was my top 10 albums. Now let me get into my honorable mentions that didn't make my top 10 but were just outside of it. First up, I want to talk about Fearless by Fleur East. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she was a contestant, I think the UK version of either The Voice or The X Factor, one of those shows. She's an artist I really like, and she came out with her, I believe, her sophomore album early this year. I think she's independent now. This album was full of bops, so I wanted to mention it for y'all. Some of my favorite tracks: Easy to Love, Lucky, fun track, On and On. I love that track. I think I had it in my BSM 14, I think. Let's see, No Boy No Cry, Figure It Out, Favorite Thing. Yeah, a lot of great tracks on this album, so I wanted to mention it for y'all. And also I wanted to mention Heartbreak Weather by Niall Horan from One Direction. I think this is his second album as a solo artist, and I think this album's pretty good. Didn't make my top 10, but really good album that had a lot of gems on it. I love Heartbreak Weather, I love that track. Black and White is a cool track. Nice to Meet You is a banger that a lot of y'all slept on this year. Put a Little Love on Me, such a gem. I love that song. It's a beautiful ballad, love that track. Arms of a Stranger is a cool track. No Judgment, I love that song. I think it was in my BSM 13, I think. I love that track. Yeah, really cool album that had a lot of gems on this. I wanted to mention it for y'all. That was another great album. And lastly, for the albums I wanted to mention, John K's Love and Everything Else, a really cool album by John K that I really liked, so I wanted to mention it for y'all. Really short album, but it had a lot of cool songs in it. Let Me Let You Go, If We Never Met, 6 Months, Learning How to Love is a cool track. I think Happiness is a cool track too, so I want to mention that for y'all. Shout out to John K. Love and Everything Else is a really cool, solid, consistent album. And for albums that weren't really straight up pop albums, but I still wanted to mention them for y'all, these albums are more on the alternative side, but I still want to mention them because they were great projects. I wanted to mention Notes on a Conditional Form by The 1975. Great album by this group. You know, it has like more of an alternative vibe, but I still want to mention it for y'all. Some of my favorite tracks off this album: People, really dope like arena rock song. First Set of Mine, I think it was my BSM 12. I love that song. Me and You Together song, I think it's something you should know. Tonight I Wish I Was Your Boy. If You're Too Shy, Let Me Know. What Should I Say? Yeah, a lot of cool tracks on this album. This album was a really long and bloated album, but it had a lot of gems on it, and I feel like the 1975 was really in their bag with this album. A lot of cool production, a lot of cool, interesting messages on this album, really cool songs on this album, so I definitely wanted to mention it for y'all. And lastly, I wanted to mention Tame Impala's The Slow Rush as my last album of the year that I want to mention. It's really more of an alternative album, but I still want to mention for y'all real quick. Some of my favorite tracks of this album, I think I say Breathe Deeper, maybe Tomorrow's Dust. I love the track Lost in Yesterday. I love that song. I'm so glad I got nominated for a Grammy. Love that song. Yeah, really cool album that I really want to mention for y'all. I love Kevin Parker's production, and this album had a really cool vibe on it, talking about kind of like the concept of time a lot, so I like this album. Yeah, man, so those are albums I wanted to mention that weren't really my top 10, but I still liked. And lastly, I want to talk about some mixtapes and EPs that came out as well. Just a few. These weren't albums, but these are all EPs, but I just wanted to mention them for y'all because I really liked them this year. The first is the defining moments of Say Grace, Girlhood, Fuckboys and Situationships by Say Grace. A really long EP title. But yeah, this is a really dope Australian singer who used to go by the name Grace, but now she goes by the name Say Grace. Amazing vocalist. She does like she makes like really cool like R&B pop music, really vibey music. I love her sound, love her music. So she came out with a really dope EP this year. So I want to mention that for y'all. Also, Heart Eyes by Loot, a really dope EP as well. I like Loot. Shout out to them. I want to mention that for y'all. I really love their sound. I love their vibes. So I want to mention Heart Eyes. Shout out to Loot, really dope band. Or I think they're a duo actually. And then lastly, I want to mention Solitude by Tori Kelly, EP that was really cool as well. That came out back in August. Tori Kelly is one of the illest vocalists out here on the scene. Y'all keep sleeping on her. She's an amazing vocalist. She can sing her ass off, and her EP was pretty solid. Talk about, you know, just solitude during the quarantine. And I think my favorite track out the EP, if you watch my BSM, was it my last one? But I think BSM 16, where I had her track Don't Take Me Home. Oh my god, that track, insane. But yeah, the whole EP is dope too, but I just wanted to mention this EP. Alright y'all, so that's my video on my top 10 pop albums of 2020. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you thought about my list. Let me know if you love it, if you hate it, if you think it's okay. You know, give me all your thoughts down below. I appreciate it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Hope you guys enjoyed the ranking. Let me know down below what were your favorite pop albums of the year. Who did you think had the best album of the year in pop? Let me know what were your favorite pop songs of the year too. Let me know that as well. I really want to know. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the list, and comment down below all your thoughts about it, and let me know what were your favorite pop albums of the year. I really want to know. But yeah, man, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? Appreciate y'all. And like I always say, guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song to make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. And please, guys, wear your mask, wash your hands, and social distance as much as you can, okay? I'm gonna say it again, mask up, wash your hands, and social distance as much as you can. And when it's your time to get vaccinated, please get vaccinated and don't hesitate to. I know a lot of people have doubts, and I get it, but as someone who works in public health, I can tell y'all that government is not out to plant chips in our brains with this vaccination. It's really about getting all of us safe. So come on, y'all, please get vaccinated when it's time to next year. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great 2020 listening to pop music. Hopefully next year will be just as good of a year for pop, if not better. Let's see what happens. But yeah, man. Alright, in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been your boy Bright. But for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all. Peace.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just